the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other. Yes, I'm the best at what I do. One of the most notorious in YouTube anime and manga community. Don't doubt the information, please. Just don't do it. Bringing y'all an interesting video. Something I've talked about briefly in Hangouts and live streams, not to a full extent, as I'm about to do in this one, and otherwise. And also, I'm here to debunk some and explain some things. Okay. This video was inspired. Shout out to Brago DAs. Dude follows me and follow back it. I mean, go check out his channel, and first of all, go check out this video that will be in the description box below, because it was a phenomenal analysis of the Opi no Mi and Trafalgar Law's strengths and weaknesses, as well as potential theory toward the potential of what he can do with the Opi no Mi down the line. It is very educational. Even I learned a thing or two that I did, either it didn't register or that I missed. So with that being said, let's do this thing, right? Let's dive into this one. The flaws of Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar Law, or Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, if we want to go by his full name, as a fighter. What are you talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, I've said it time and time again. I come from a fighting perspective. I've said this in Hangouts and live streams and probably in some videos. Not only do I come from a philosophical perspective and a literary perspective, I come from a fighting perspective. I'm heavily invested with the martial arts. I love the martial arts amongst other things, but I really, and I'm very serious. And if you've seen some of the videos on my channel, you know that I don't play and I go in deeply with the analysis. Now, I've noticed some things, okay? And Brago did a great job on highlighting some of those things, but not to the extent of which I will take them. I'm by no means saying that Trafalgar Law is weak. No means saying Law is weak. In fact, I don't hate Law. A lot of people get it twisted. Just because I'm not over-hyping a character, just because I'm not overrating a character, just because I'm critical of a character does not make them strong. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. If you can't tell, this is Luffy. This is my wallpaper. This has been my wallpaper for the longest. You see that? What is that? Useless Captain Kid. And Law, who's not even in my top 15 favorite characters in the series. You see that? You see that? Law. I didn't just make this happen. This has been my wallpaper on my other phone. This has been my wallpaper for the longest of time. Excuse me, hold on one second. Alright, y'all. Put the phone back on charge. You know how it be. And if you don't know, well, you don't deal with cell phones much. That's been my wallpaper. I love that photo. The worst generation, baby. In fact, one of my banners for the longest time, and one of my cover photos for Facebook was that. So don't get the false illusion. Don't get this illusion that Wonder doesn't like. No, it's I'm being critical. Because we know he has an OP hacks ability. We know he has OP hacks capabilities and potential. We recognize this. And I'm not saying he's garbage. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's weak. I say he's top mid-tier along with Blacklight, Sanji, and others. I don't think he's top tier. I do think Luffy and Zoro, Kid, X-Rick are all above him. I do. Go Flamingo, which was clearly evidenced in this Dressrosa arc. But there are reasons as to why that is the case, ladies and gentlemen. I don't just talk out of my ass. I don't do that, okay? There are 4 reasons, 4 flaws, I should say, that are with Law as a fighter. The first being something that Sir Crocodile said. I'll get to that. The second being Law as a character. The third being the Opi no Mi itself alongside Haki. And the fourth being the One Piece world itself. All 4 have a very relevant thing as to why the flaws of Law as a fighter, and as to why he isn't more powerful than what he is and more skilled than what he is, and why people are like, it's seeming contradiction. He has the ability to cut anything in his room. It's the operation, pretty much. He has the ability to do anything in his room. Why is he struggling so much? I don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's step back. Let's take off the rosy colored glasses and understand the martial arts and fighting. Point number one, what does Sir Crocodile say? Back in Alabasta, if I'm not mistaken. It's not about, it's very similar, because I bring up the point Morel made in Hunter Hunter to Killer Zodic. I'm about to bring that point up as well. Sir Crocodile said something very valuable and very factual and accurate, and I'm so glad that Oda put this, I'm ecstatic that Oda put this in the series, because it applies to hockey as well, whether it be observation, armaments, or conquest hockey. He said it's not the devil fruit itself, it is the user. Now, Morel said a very similar thing. He said, in a fight, okay, no matter what, Nin, you don't know what the opponent brings to the table. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why Luffy is such a phenomenal fighter, because he never knows what his opponents bring to the table. Law knew what Doflamingo brought to the table and still was still getting wrecked. He was still getting screwed. This is fact. He did lay some blows on him, don't get it twisted. But he was still getting schooled. He should have been dead in the first place. But, we ain't gonna talk about that. The thing is, you don't know what your opponent brings to the table. He's talking about in battle, in regular fight, and in the same sense. This will get to Law as a character. But, in the same sense, alongside that, your devil fruit, it doesn't matter how powerful, it doesn't matter if you have magma and earthquakes and stuff. And people think just because you have that means you're going to be as proficient. No, it doesn't. We clearly said, seeing that lack of control. Luffy, it took him 10 years to train his jump. I mean, Tashigi, we saw that. I think it has to do with your level of combatant. Sabo relatively could work with the Mary no Mi, even though he just got it. I think that has to do with him being a combatant. The same thing with Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard, okay, when he got the Goro no Mi, and even the Yami no Mi, which was relatively new to him, okay. Ace had only had his for like a year and a half, okay, the Mary no Mi. So when you take that into consideration, it is the user coming in with the prerequisites, mind you, to be able to use the devil fruit efficiently. Look at Luffy. That's all I need to say. He's so creative. He does things no one would think about, okay? Sometimes they're very simple, sometimes they're very complex. But he performs these things because of who he is. Okay, his essence, which leads to the second point. Law as a character. Now, Law as a character, you gotta understand this. Law is not a combatant. What? Doesn't mean he's not a fighter. Doesn't mean he's not capable of fighting. What I mean him as not as a combatant. Let me just present the Straw Hat crew. Luffy is a combatant. Zoro is a combatant. Sanji, although he's a cook, is a combatant still. Usopp is a combatant, and Brook is. Now, Usopp, even though he does tricks and stuff, and people may not like his fighting style at the moment, he's still a sniper. Brook is a swordsman. Zoro's a swordsman. Luffy, we already know how Luffy gets down with his freestyle fighting, and Sanji with the Black Leg style. Now, Law is a swordsman, but how can he not be a combatant? Law is a doctor, just like Chopper. Now, Chopper is very interesting because Chopper, unlike Law, Chopper kind of developed because of his knowledge of the human body, the ability to take it down. Law, he was trained by Diamante, Gladius. Was he trained by Trable? Pika? I'm trying to remember all who he was trained by. Doflamingo? I'm trying to remember all who he was trained by. I know definitely Diamante and swordsmanship and Gladius and weaponry. Maybe a couple of the others, Magvis or whoever. No, Lauji and combat. Those three. Diamante, Gladius, and Lauji. I remember those three specifically, and maybe Doflamingo. I can't remember. But regardless, even though he was trained, and even though he's a swordsman, he clearly is with that big old sword. He's a doctor for him, first and foremost. And being that he's a doctor, and his focus is that he's not a combatant, there's a conflict of interest. his mess, his ability to take the hearts out. He could kill. He even in his room, he chops him up. He doesn't kill. Now you could say, well, Luffy doesn't get. Luffy straight hurts his opponents, pure and simple. Zoro, same way. Sanji, same way. Usopp does the. I know what people say to give you whatever. Usopp's just not strong enough at the specific moment generally to hurt who he's fighting. We see Brook slash up folks. With Law, he's a doctor through and through. He's the surgeon of death. And that death part is questionable right now. Not saying he can't kill, but he is a doctor. I keep highlighting that because when you look at him in his fighting style, he's very much like a surgeon. Very much particular in the way he does things. His movements are very exact, very so much so that he can't really deal with the really fast fighters. Doflamingo showcased that. Luffy's fast. Luffy's just as fast, if not faster than Doflamingo. Okay, really fast. Guys like Hisoka, guys like Sanji, Zoro. We see Law's defense ain't good against the speed, ain't good against the very skillful. We've seen that with Doflamingo, and we know how skilled Zoro is. Law gets pushed back. He's not up to par with it. His focus is, he's good when he's at a distance and you're on his operation table. But if you're pressing him, there's a problem because his mind is very mechanical. We've seen that in his interactions with Luffy and the rest of Straw Hats. We've seen that in his conversation with Vice Admiral Smoker. Okay, we've seen all this. He's very mechanical mind. And when it comes to dudes who are either experienced combatants or just dudes like Luffy, okay, you can't be completely mechanical. You gonna take that L against serious competition, serious opponents. Point number 3. We have the whole thing about the devil fruit. Then we have the whole thing about his character. Now to the Opi no Mi itself. As hacks as it is, it's actually a detriment to a guy like Law. Because not only does it, bypass his need to master his haki at a greater rate, as Luffy and Zoro were forced to, it doggone allows him to get away with not straight up fighting in a lot of cases. This is true. Cause look at it when he fought Vergo, Vice Admiral Vergo. All he had to do is cut him in half and then cut him again. He avoided the fight. When you look at him with Doflamingo didn't give him that opportunity. Admiral Fujitora didn't give him that opportunity. Even though Admiral Fujitora was clearly holding back and not really fighting. When dudes, not cocky, when they serious about this, when they truly legit like that, he ain't gonna be able to get off like it is. He ain't gonna, even though he's not a Logia, what Peckham said is still valid. He said Logias who rely too much on their abilities often die young. Well, Law relies very heavily on his devil fruit, and he may die young, quite young. He's already, Luffy sacrificed Digger, but Law with the Gamma Knife. And it still wasn't, he overcalculates, he overestimates. Oh, I'm a doctor, so I know it's not that simple, Law, because Law doesn't understand combat ain't that simple. Okay? Point number 4. The One Piece world. The One Piece world is one of the most savage, one of the best combative worlds I've come across in fiction history. It's up there with Dragon Ball, and just from the martial arts fighting perspective. Dragon Ball, the Baki series, Hajime no Ippo. What other series are really Rikodo, for those who don't know, it's kind of sort of a boxing series. Hunter most def, Fist of the North Star, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Toriko, There's some other series that Holy Land, the God of High School, Magi Labyrinth of Magic. Certain series really, some of those more so than others. But One Piece is savage. One Piece got some dudes with abilities. I mean, you got Magma. You got the poison. You got poison, which is so lethal. You got the Ito no Mi. We saw what Doflamingo can do with that. You got the Gumma. You got the rubber. We can see what Luffy can do. We got abilities. We got Kuma's devil fruit, the Paw Paw. Ursa Shock. I mean, you got Rob Lucci. You could go through these different devil fruits. They're nasty. They're disgusting. You got Haki. Okay? One Piece world does not play games. These abilities aren't a joke. So Law's not the only one with OP and hacks abilities. The entire world is filled with OP and hacks abilities, and those, especially those at the top. Law doesn't even have the ambition to achieve that level. But yet people want to place him on there. Based on what facts? There is no facts to back it up. Just because he has a hacks ability doesn't necessitate that he's top. That he's top tier. That he's top dog like that. Others that are better fighters. Others who have better control of his abilities. You look at it, Law, although he's had his ability for 13 years, he's nowhere near mastery. He has stamina issues. He's, control issues. Yeah, he held it up. He's got, Luffy, Aokiji, Doflamingo, Sir Crocodile, even Chopper, Tony Chopper, and there's others, Fireface Porters, Ace. You can mention Blackbeard, Whitebeard, Sengoku, Marco. These dudes, and there's others, Rob Lucci. They've incorporated, even Kaku, even Sabo. They've incorporated beautifully, for the most part, their devil fruit along with their fighting style. It just enhances what they bring to the table already. With Law, his fighting style is pretty dependent, or at least codependent, on his devil fruit usage. And when you cut that off, we see what happens. Like, I don't know how people can try to just get this out the way. I ain't gonna make this video longer than it needs to be. But ladies and gentlemen, Law himself is the problem, not his devil fruit. His devil fruit is too nasty. Okay? Law gotta come up when his devil fruit control, usage, as well as his hockey game. It's gotta come up. I think it will. I think he's gonna expand it. He gotta get to the point where he doesn't have to use his hands. You gotta get to the point where it gotta be telepathical. You gotta get to the point where, or he doesn't even need to use room at all in certain cases. He can just use his ability. Look at what Bartolomeo brought to the table. Prime example. He put the barrier around his hand and gave it the berry punch. See what I'm saying? Even Bellamy upgraded his. There's just different examples throughout the series. I hope I was able to explain my points adequately. Again, this is no hate towards the character of Trafalgar Law. This isn't talking about Law as a character. This is talking specifically him as a combatant, him as a fighter. I expect you to like, subscribe, tell me your thoughts, and beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace. And please, just think about it.